Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Man United could lose Alejandro Garnacho to international duty in late May. Manchester United could be without the services of Alejandro Garnacho in late May, with Argentina likely to be granted the hosting rights for the Under-20 World Cup. FIFA recently stripped the hosting rights from Indonesia, and it has been reported by Bolavip that they have confirmed Argentina as the new host of the tournament. This could directly have an impact on the Red Devils, considering they have one of the leading stars of the Argentina under-20 setup in the form of Garnacho. United did not send the 18-year-old for the Under-20 South American Championship in January and February, as they were under no obligation to do so by FIFA. However, Bolavip report that they would have no control for the Under-20 World Cup, as all clubs are obliged to send their young players for the tournament. Garnacho is currently on the sidelines after picking up an ankle injury, but he is anticipated to return in time to participate for Argentina in the Under-20 World Cup. The South American nation initially failed to qualify for the World Cup, but in a surprise turn of events, they have now booked their spot as the host of the tournament. The 25 million euros rated star has had a fine breakthrough campaign with the club. He has 9 goal contributions. A number of those have come in match-winning situations. Manager Erik ten Hag recently said that he is hopeful of Garnacho's return in the final weeks of the season, but this could benefit Argentina rather than the Red Devils. United will have no choice but to send Garnacho to the Under-20 World Cup if Argentina are host. Only the failure to return from his injury could see him skip the tournament. Bruno Fernandes wins Manchester United Player of the Month award for March. Bruno Fernandes has won Manchester United's Player of the Month award for March 2023. Marcus Rashford and Lisandro Martinez were also nominated, but the Portugal international beat them by receiving the highest number of fan votes. Rashford has been spectacular this season, scoring 14 goals in 26 Premier League appearances. The star forward was aiming to win his fourth consecutive Player of the Month award, but he ultimately fell short by a small number of nominations. Fernandez has now won his 7th Player of the Month award since arriving at Old Trafford in 2020. The attacking midfielder came under plenty of scrutiny for his behavior during the Red Devils' humiliating 7-0 loss to Liverpool. Many pundits and fans even claimed the 28-year-old shouldn't be captain of the team. However, Erik ten Hag backed Fernandes to remain as United skipper despite his conduct during the match at Anfield, and he repaid the faith of his manager in the following Europa League game against Real Betis, making 2 goal contributions to help his side win the away leg 4-1. The 28-year-old also delivered a standout performance in their FA Cup quarter-final win over Fulham. He converted his spot kick before lashing in another late goal to wrap up a comfortable victory for United. Fernandes has featured in 44 matches across all competitions this season, bagging 10 goals and 12 assists. He has averaged 2.2 tackles, 0.6 interceptions, and 1.2 clearances per game in the English top flight. He has also made 2.2 shots, 2.8 key passes per game, and boasts over 76% passing accuracy. Man United goalkeeper Tom Heaton confirms he is out for a few weeks with an ankle injury. Manchester United goalkeeper Tom Heaton has confirmed that he will be sidelined for another few weeks following an ankle injury sustained before the Fulham game. The 36-year-old has been a regular in the matchday squad for the Red Devils this year. He has kept clean sheets in his 2 appearances, both in the Carabao Cup. Heaton was recently absent for the FA Cup quarter-final victory over Fulham, and he has now revealed that he rolled his ankle in training before the game. The experienced ace added that he damaged his ligament in the process, but remains hopeful of making his comeback midway through the month of April. He told ManUnited.com, "Yeah, Unfortunately, the day before the Fulham game, I rolled my ankle in training. Thankfully, it's not too bad, but it will mean a couple of weeks out, I think. I should be back some point in April, somewhere, hopefully halfway through. It's an occupational hazard, unfortunately, a bit of a random one, but yeah, I just went over on the ankle and nicked the ligament. I am in this protective boot for another few days, then hope to get it back moving again. United currently have David de Gea as an undisputed choice between the sticks. The Spaniard has been rested for just 4 games in the cup competitions. In Heaton's absence, January loan signing Jack Butland will be on the bench in the coming weeks, but it's unlikely that he will play any part for the Red Devils. Erik ten Hag's side have entered a crucial phase across all competitions, and we don't see De Gea being rested between now and the end of the campaign. The 32-year-old has had another stellar season with outstanding saves and will be eyeing more glory with the club competing for the FA Cup and Europa League. Manchester United injury boost as Martial Sabitzer pictured in first team training. Manchester United are set for an important injury boost with Marcel Sabitzer pictured in first team training. Marcel Sabitzer sat out Austria's second Euro 2024 qualifier this week after picking up a knock. The rest appears to have been only precautionary. Thankfully, with the Austrians rejoining first team training at Carrington on Thursday, Sabitzer had scored 2 and assisted 1 in Austria's first qualifying match, following on form his first ever Manchester United goal before the break in the FA Cup quarter-final. It's a timely boost for Marcel Sabitzer to make his return to training ahead of this Sunday's Premier League clash away at Newcastle. Casemiro is suspended for the match, and Sabitzer's presence is most welcome. Christian Eriksen is closing in on a return, but he was not among those pictured. Bruno Fernandes is expected to start and captain Manchester United against Newcastle. Then it will be 2 from the 3 of Fred, Marcel Sabitzer and Scott McTominay. United follow up the Newcastle game with 2 home matches against Brentford and then Everton. Sabitzer will have been monitored closely upon his return to training, and United will take a view for the Newcastle game on his fitness while bearing in mind the 2 following matches with 3 games in a 7-day period. But it's a positive simply for him to be training alongside the rest of the group as the players return from international duty. Manager Erik ten Hag will provide a further update in his pre-match press conference. Charlie McNeil admits he feels pressure to perform out on loan. Manchester United youngster Charlie McNeil is currently out on loan at League Two side Newport County. The 19-year-old striker scored his first goal for the club earlier this month and is hoping to finish the season strongly. He has been speaking to the South Wales Args about his time out on loan and believes he is fortunate to get the opportunity. This time last year, he was playing in the FA Youth Cup and believes he is ahead of schedule to be getting loan experience already. Charlie McNeil explained that he is glad to be getting the chance to test himself in men's football at a high level. He explained, "I am really grateful for this because a lot of players don't get to go out on loan until a couple of years down the line." His United Academy teammate Zidane Iqbal is a case in point. Despite impressive progress, the 19-year-old is still waiting for his first loan spell. McNeil does admit that he feels the pressure, which comes courtesy of having a big reputation at youth level and arriving on loan with the status of a Manchester United player. For a striker especially, who are judged on goals by many, McNeil is relieved to have got off the mark. He added, "I personally think United is the biggest club in the world, so if you go out on loan, you have always got eye on you and people are expecting big things. That can be tough because people expect a lot of me, but it's my first loan. I do want to show what I am about as well because I know I am a good player." McNeil made his Manchester United first team debut in September as a light substitute against Real Sociedad. He may have another chance to impress in pre-season, but for now, his task will be on trying to help Newport improve their position at 18th in the table. Mason Greenwood holds extensive talks with Manchester United officials and makes a stance. Mason Greenwood has held extensive talks with Manchester United officials as a club investigation continues. Criminal charges against Mason Greenwood were dropped earlier in 2023, with the Crown Prosecution Service announcing a combination of the withdrawal of key witnesses and the new material that came to light meant there was no longer a realistic prospect of conviction. Manchester United subsequently launched their own investigation into the circumstances which led to his arrest. This club probe remains ongoing. The Mail report extensive talks have been held with Manchester United officials. Currently, the situation is no closer to resolution. Manchester United are reported to be adamant the club will not be rushed into a decision on a possible Mason Greenwood return. The club have no intention of disrupting this current season, and Greenwood will not be permitted to return to training until next season at the earliest. Whether he will be permitted to return at all is very questionable. The Mail described Manchester United as grappling with a difficult ethical, human, commercial, and financial dilemma. Mason Greenwood is claimed to be keen on a return. He is said to have emphasized his desire to return as soon as possible and stressed his commitment to remaining at Old Trafford. This could, of course, be a ploy to get United to pay up his contract and release him. If United do not want him to play for the club, they will have to find a solution. Greenwood's desire to play may be genuine, but he may also recognize there is little realistic chance of this happening. Facundo Pellistri comments undermine Harry Maguire's complacent statement. Manchester United winger Facundo Pellistri's latest comments appear in contrast with the club captain Harry Maguire. The 21-year-old has been on international duty with Uruguay and, speaking to ESPN, says he never takes it for granted. Facundo Pellistri's hunger to continually improve himself shows he is not content to rest on his laurels, despite featuring at the World Cup for Uruguay and breaking into the Manchester United team. Harry Maguire had recently raised eyebrows with comments claiming he did not need to prove himself. Facundo Pellistri is at the start of his career, very different to Harry Maguire, but his attitude is what you want to hear from a Manchester United player. Pellistri said, "It's something incredible to be able to represent your country. I was lucky to be in the last calls. Nobody is fixed in the national team. You always have to demonstrate and try to get into it to continue being here. Every time I have to represent Uruguay, I do it very happy." This is at odds with Harry Maguire, who told The Times, "I am 30 years old, but I shouldn't really need to prove myself at this level. I have over 50 caps. I am England's top scoring defender. I have played nearly 200 times for Manchester United. I have captained the club for 3 years now." Maguires appear far too complacent for a player who is not a regular for his club. There is no guarantee Facundo Pellistri will make it at Manchester United long term. He has to do the business on the pitch, but he has the right attitude, keen to prove himself. Pellistri separately added that he enjoys hearing that Manchester United fans want to see more of him. Roma eyeing free swoop for David de Gea at the end of the season. Despite a relatively successful first season in charge of Manchester United, manager Erik ten Hag has a lot of problems to solve ahead of his second season. Transfer dealings will take precedence, with the quest to add a quality striker high on the club's agenda. There is also a need to bring in a midfielder and a defender. There are also question marks surrounding David De Gea's long-term future at the club. The Spaniard's current deal expires at the end of this season, though the club have the option of extending it by another year. But the Red Devils have been reluctant to do so and have instead begun negotiations over a brand new contract, but on lower wages. The United number one has rejected the club's first offer. The Spain international, while being a great shot stopper, does not have the qualities Ten Hag wants from his keeper. His passing remains erratic, while he is reluctant to come off his line to sweep or to claim crosses. A section of the fan base have advocated for the club to ruthlessly cut their losses like Manchester City and Arsenal had done with their long-term number ones in their pursuit of excellence. The Reds have been linked with a plethora of keepers including Brentford's David de Gea, Diogo Costa of Portugal, and Borussia Dortmund number 1 Gregor Kobel. But due to the prices being mentioned and the lack of clarity regarding the club's budget in the summer, the safer option would be to keep hold of David de Gea for the time being. However, former United boss Jose Mourinho could have other ideas. According to Vigaches, the current Roma boss is pondering over a free move for De Gea in the summer. There is also interest from League One giants Paris Saint-Germain as well as Serie A side Juventus, but Mourinho's cordial relationship with the United star could prove key. Losing De Gea on a free would not benefit United as he still has a lot to give in the short term, and his experience would help till a new shot stopper is brought in and he can learn to manage the humongous expectations at Old Trafford. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.